Welcome back to the Jupiter Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Franklin, and today we have one Mr. Al Cooley from Ghost in the Valley podcast. Thank you so much, Trader Hill, for getting me in contact with him. I was already on his show. He's an amazing guy. You guys are going to really enjoy him. He has a great show. We're going to go ahead and get all the details of that. If you keep finding yourself coming back to the Jupiter Podcast, please do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. Leave a comment. Go ahead and share it with your friends. If you want to get in contact with me and leave me any type of message, maybe you're a person who's had an experience that you can't explain and you want to talk to somebody about it, please do me a favor and go ahead and send me an email at the eyeofjupiterpodcast@gmail.com, and I will have you on the show most likely. And if you want to contact me over all my social medias, all those can be found in the description below. And if you want a t-shirt and all that, that's down there. If you want to support the support the podcast, that's all there. If you want to support the podcast tonight or in the future, there's also super chat and super thanks. Every bit is welcomed and thanked. So thank you. So with all that out of the way, I got in the middle of a sentence there and I didn't know how to get out of it. So I just go ahead and, just go ahead and own it. So with all that out of the way, let's welcome to the Eye Jupiter Podcast one Mr. Al Cooley.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah,
I'm doing good. Yeah, man. We're hard-nosed survivors. I think both you and I we are kind of on the tail end of something that kind of flew through the system, and now we're here, dude. So it's been pretty rough, man. So, dude, thanks for coming on the show, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I was already on your show. I was really fun. You're very good at what you do, man. So do me a favor, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where they can find you, and whatever it is that you're promoting, go ahead and do that as well, please.
Yeah, I have my podcast called Ghost in the Valley podcast. It's everything paranormal. Everything. UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, Fae. You name it. So you can go check that out on all the major platforms out there. And also I have a book out. It's called, I don't know if you can see that, Spencer's Ghost.
Oh, okay. Like Spencer Gifts?
It's basically my adventures growing up in a haunted house when I was a child. And takes you through 4 years or 5 years of hell that I went through, based on a true story. And so I'm working on book 2 right now. So coming up in a couple of weeks, that'll be a 1 year anniversary for the Ghost for the Spencer's Ghost first book. So hopefully next year I'll have the second book out. I'm working on that right now. And
where can you find this? Where can you find the book at?
Oh, the book's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Apple, anywhere you get your books. Or you can go to my website. My website's authoralcooley.com, and you can catch all my episodes of the podcast there. You can pick up my book there. If you don't like Amazon, you can go to one of the other links that's in there to pick the book up. I've been busy with the podcast, the book. I play in a band, so I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, I understand, man. I understand. So you were knocked down for a couple of days, and you were talking about how awry your little podcast studio is there, and I was telling you mine's the same. So okay, let's go ahead and get into it, man. So what got you interested in the paranormal? Because it's not a normal thing that people just get into. Something most likely either happened or sparked your interest.
Well, I would say it's probably the book. Growing up in that house, up until I was about 12 years old, I'd never seen a ghost, had any contact with a ghost or know anybody with a ghost, So that was all new to me, moving into this house. And the first thing I seen in a window, pulling up the driveway with my mom and dad and my brother and sister, looking up at the window, was a young girl in the window. And there was nobody in the house when we got in there, So from day one, I'm labeled crazy from my mom and dad, and not to talk that kind of nonsense. And so my whole life, I think I kind of like just didn't talk about it, because you're always like the crazy dude in school, or who sees a ghost, and
I think See,
I
until
want to
one,
make
you're just like, I don't care anymore. Like that filter in the front of your head, and the world just, you're working hard. You got a family, and you're like, you know what, dude? I have seen ghosts. That's what happened to me. I just didn't care anymore. You know?
right. And I was I was on a show a few months ago, and a girl asked me, uh, "Why did it take me so long to write this book? It took me 55 years to write this book." And I says, "I mean, think about it, man. I mean, back in 1969, who 1967, sorry,
Oh,
who I mean, there was no internet, there's no Google, there's no YouTube. There, I mean, who do you go to talk to that you see something like this? I mean, if I was to call the cops or something and tell them, "Hey, there's somebody upstairs," and there's nobody there, they're gonna lock me up, man. I mean, so
yeah,
it was that type of shit until now, recently, because everything's out there. I mean, you can find any, like your show, uh, that you can connect with people that can relate with you, because they can relate with your story and not call you batshit crazy or you know, out
yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying?
Just trying to
So
put it into context for everyone. It's kind of like this. Remember, 67, as far as I remember, Al, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is the summer of love, right?
right?
Isn't that called
Hmm.
the summer of love, 67? So
You,
everyone's like,
yeah.
if you're going to San Francisco and you're over there in the corner, like, I've seen ghosts, man. No one's going to listen to you, bro. They're just going to be like, all right, Al.
Oh, you got
By the way, here's this
that
website,
little.
guys. Go over there and
Yeah.
check out his book. I got it pulled up. Thank you, Pam. Sorry about that, buddy.
Thank you, Pam.
My,
Yeah.
my
There
timing
was
was off.
that little herb, you can smoke also,
I have
that
no
that
idea
in
what you're talking about, Al.
that Indian flower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm,
yeah, I mean, so it changed, and I really enjoyed the book. Actually took me almost 5 years to write, because I'm thinking back. I'm not trying to make stuff up. I'm trying to think about real events that happened in and outside that home that were unbelievable.
okay.
So some people go through their life and they have a ghost that's connected with them. You know what I'm saying? For almost every house they live in, it's like they have a story.
Right.
Mine wasn't like that, man. Mine was growing up in that one house and one and done, right? Uh, when we lived there, it was violent to a couple of my uncles and a couple of friends, but to us, my brother, sister, myself, it wasn't violent. We didn't get hurt or nothing like that. Matter of fact, I had a pretty good connection with the girl. That's why I called the girl Alice in my book, because that's she was about our age, and that's the weird thing is, when you move in, that you're scared half out of your head on a ghost, and then when we're moving out, I felt sad because we're leaving. It was a really weird feeling that,
Okay. Yeah. That's
because you had
strange.
this connection, and all through my life in that 5 years, I was giving warnings like, "Don't go, don't do this." You know, we played a gig when this is way back in junior high. Played a gig, and I was told, and this voice kept coming up, "Don't go, man, don't go." Yet we went, we played, and we went back to the bass player's house, unload all the equipment, and
Yeah.
my uncle's driving because we didn't have a car or nothing,
Oh, wow.
and this guy followed us back, and he was tailgating my uncle, and they got into a fight outside my uncle's house, or at the bass player's house, and the guy came back with a gun, man, with a shotgun, and he blew 2 holes in the garage door, which everything in that garage. Imagine this, and if you look around your room, from one wall to the other wall, everything's peppered with buckshot, everything, and it blew out a hole in the paneling of the garage, and it blew out. And the second shot he fired blew out the hole of the window above the 4 windows on the garage. So everything's peppered, but we weren't hit once, and so it's like that's why my book's called Spencer's Ghost: The Guardian. I believe I have a guardian angel that's been protecting me.
Okay.
Uh, is it Alice? Is it God? I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't have a connection. I mean, I just know. I've been always told, "Don't go," and you do it anyway.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's basically that book. And so the second book is more of the people that moved in the house after we moved out. Now that book is extremely violent. So I mean, they had some rough shit happen in that house. Uh, and then outside that house. And that's I'm gonna have a great time writing these because it's bringing back memories. I told my wife, when I was writing this, I had to take it like a couple weeks off because when I got to the part where we were shot at, it really brought back some memories of how terrifying that was. And you kind of put that in the back of your head all these years, because so many things had happened, but then it was like, it was really weird because I'm laying in bed and I could almost smell that gunpowder,
Right.
so, and I had to take a break, man. I was like,
It's strange, isn't it, how, like, smells can bring you back so quickly?
mhm,
For
mhm.
me, it's such a strong, like, connection, like, when that smell, like, like, if it be, like, Jimmy Dean's sausages and eggs in the morning or something, I'm just like, "Dude, I'm in America again." You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those weird things, man. So, like, okay, so what do you wanna tell us about? You wanna talk about, like, some of the experiences that you've had personally, the book that's already out, or do you wanna go into some other things? I wanna hear some of the things that happened to you. Thank you so much, Jim, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know, there's so many stories in the book. I'll do a couple. One
Sure.
was, uh, we jumped a train as, young kids do, 13, 14 years old. We jumped a train. It was back during the Kent State shootings in Ohio,
Oh, wow.
and we wanted to go and protest at Kent State, uh, the killing of those 4 people. And what we did
Wow.
was we Kent State's about 35 miles from my house. So we jumped the train because my friend's dad actually worked at the train yard. So it was a jumped a boxcar, and we knew it said Kent on there. So we knew it was going to Kent for Kent State, Kent, Ohio. But instead of going to Kent, we ended up in Kent, New York.
Oh, okay.
6 hours later, and back then the trains didn't go 10 to 15 mile an hour. We're talking 65, 70 mile an hour. We're in this boxcar just going back and forth and never slowed down. So we couldn't jump off. So 6.5 hours later, we end up in Kent, New York. But we got to call the bass player's parent to pick us up. And the guy that helped us out there at Kent, at the train station in Kent, they called him Boxcar. uh, Billy Baxter. I could still remember that boxcar Billy Baxter. And so he said he'll stay with us until the other authorities got there to help us out, get us back home. And well, anyway, when the authorities showed up, they were interrogating us like we're part of a militia group or uh, just some thieves because some stuff was missing in that train yard. And I said, we didn't steal nothing, man. We just try to go protest this war, and we ended up instead of Kent, Ohio, we're in Kent, New York. Uh, and I was like, "Where the hell's Billy at anyway?" And they kept saying, "Billy who?" And I said, "Billy Baxter, man. He been with us for the last hour, helping us out. Gave us some sandwiches and some hot chocolate." And
Thank you, Denise.
so he said, "Well," he says, Billy Baxter died like 35 years ago."
What? That's
So
so
I'm like,
crazy.
No, it's just not me. It's me, my buddy Alex, and my buddy Bruce were on this train. So all 3 of us talked to Billy Baxter. So when we were in the terminal, the girl working the terminal came out and she says, "Here's a picture of Billy Baxter," And I said, "That was a dude, but he was much older, you know." And she said, "Well, he died 35 years ago." So was that his ghost, or it's a pretty? There's more to it than that. I mean, you have to read a book; it'll get into uh, Billy's life and how they were connected. That girl at the train yard and Billy, and so it was pretty interesting. And the book just goes on and on. And I've had a lot of good responses from it. I mean, I did some book signings. I think the one I liked the best was the one I did in Warren, Ohio. That's where this story took place.
Okay.
And I actually did a book signing in Warren, Ohio, at the Ghost Walk last year, where like 10,000, 8,000 people come in every year for this Ghost Walk. So I got to be there to promote my book because it happened in Warren. And what's cool about this, man, is in my book I mentioned the courthouse that I'm sitting there in Warren. I mentioned the log cabin, which I'm looking at where I'm sitting at this table. I mentioned the log cabin. I mentioned the river. I said, this is so cool that everything that's in my book I'm talking about, I'm looking right at it, but I'm looking at it 55 years later. So,
Right, right.
and when I had one story in the book where a young man who I went to school with took his life. So he and I didn't know how to put that in there, so I didn't put his name in the book. I thought I
Of
didn't want
course.
to do that. I didn't want to do that. So I just left that. He graduated with me. He was in my class that day, and he had a dependency on drugs, but he was getting better. He was getting off. He was getting treatment. He was really doing good. I was so proud of him in school, and that evening he laid across the railroad tracks, and well, I didn't put his name in, but at that book signing, this girl comes up and tells me she thanked me for not putting his name in a book because that was her brother. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I didn't know he had a so that kind of blew me away, you know.
Wow.
And so many things, man, happened in my life that like my dad always told me, more shit happened to you in a year that most people happen in a lifetime. You know? And
Yeah.
I hate to tell my dad anything because he's
Isn't it
like,
strange stuff? Like
not
how
gonna
life
believe it.
is. When someone looks at your life, you know what I'm saying? They look at it differently than you look at yours. You look at it subjectively and they look at it objectively. They'll look at your life and go, wow, you have done some things. And the same thing happens to me. I've been to Germany. I've done U.S. military, all the things I've done, and they'll go, "Wow!" But for me, it seemed completely normal at the time. So I completely understand. Like for you, it's just like this is my life. What do you mean? You know?
Right, right, right. So it's just it's a really good book. It's Spencer's Ghost, The Guardian. Yeah, like I said, it's available at Amazon everywhere, and and
Yeah, go get that,
uh,
guys. Go get that,
right
guys.
now.
Support Al's work.
I think Amazon even dropped the price to $9.99 or something like that. So it's pretty good. It's a good book. I think it's worth to buy. And so that's the book. And I'm working on the second book right now.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your show, man. Tell me about the show, buddy. I want to.
The show I started out 8 years ago, and I started. I'd always wanted to do a podcast once I found out what podcasts were.
Right.
I love talk radio and every time I'm not since I'm a musician, I would go on listen to the shows on King Get Biscuit Flower Hour, and listen to these bands that come on that I was fan of. They were my idols. And if that's but radio like that back in the day, or even like Art Bell, Coast to Coast Radio.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
That's how our town, our Trumbull County, our county in Ohio, made the Art Bell show because a flying saucer was spotted, and all
Okay.
these law enforcement departments followed it from Ohio to PA, and so that was something else. And the cool thing about that episode was they weren't looking for it happened in Liberty, Ohio, which is a Liberty Township by where I live. They were actually looking for Liberty, Ohio, that's down by Walt Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton. There's also another Liberty down there because there was a UFO crash that happened there. So they were but they stumbled on our county by accident, and when they did, all hell broke loose because what a huge cover up that was by everybody involved. And I have the 911 tapes from that time from 1993, I think it was December 1993, and it made Art Bell in 1999. So it really sparked this, and even it took me the last year. How many years was that later? I mean, from
Oh,
99 to
20,
2000. I'm getting
30
my math
something.
now.
30
Yeah,
something.
so it took me all this time to get the original dispatcher on my show.
Wow.
And so
That's
I had
cool.
her, and because she still didn't really answer my questions. Like,
Oh,
you
okay.
feel it was a cover up. She didn't want to say yes because of the people that involved she's talking to was helping her out. But I know I had two buddies that worked for two different law departments at that time that chased this thing. Keep in mind, there's 10 law enforcement departments chasing this thing. 10. The state police, the deputies, the city police, the county police. Then once I got into Pennsylvania, then their county police, their state police, they're all chasing what they're looking at going about 15, 30 mile an hour, low treetop level.
Oh, just cruising. Okay.
cruise. And matter of fact, when it's like almost like the Keystone Cops, they got jammed up in this one bridge because we're all chasing this thing. You could probably write a story about it, but they actually stayed on the other side of the bridge and waited for them to get unjammed because it was like messing with them. So when they finally got into this open field in Pennsylvania, all their cruisers' lights went off. They lost their power, uh, everything. They couldn't move. It was like it just took over their everything. And
Hmm.
it like I said before, how it was just going. It's very slow, no faster than 50 mph, and all of a sudden it just went whoosh, from here to gone
Infinity and beyond,
in
and
seconds.
beyond that.
In seconds.
Right.
So I mean, and then the very next day, I know this for a fact that they were called into the back room, all these people involved in chasing this thing, and told that they were to report it with a weather balloon. So I mean, it's just
Yeah.
stuff like that that just boggles my mind. Especially when we had local TV there, we had local radio there, we had local newspaper people there, journalists, and nothing was in the news the next day. When hundreds of people seen this thing, people called into the radio station, people called into the dispatcher who I had on the show. I have those 911 tapes.
Wow.
I got a hold of them, and I was actually kind of I won't say threatened, I was kind of warned by the military base to give those tapes up,
What?
and so I never did. Uh, but the
Yeah, you hear that a lot. You hear that a lot. I had on Al Santoriga from Bronxville Paranormal Society. You probably know who he is. He's a great guy.
mm,
Yeah. And he was like, he seen like a cryptid or something on like this national land, and he was going to go back to like investigate it. And like they pulled him over on the side of the road one day, and they were like, "Yeah, you shouldn't go there. We don't want you to go there no more." It's so strange. Yeah.
well, I did. I went to Kecksburg, Pennsylvania last year for a Kecksburg UFO Festival. If anybody knows, as near that area, you should go because you have a great time. People show up dressed like aliens and spacecraft. There was a crash there happened in '65, and I got to actually talk to a few people that were around that time while I was there. None of them wanted to be on my show.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it is, but that they still have that. I don't know what it is. They were kind of warned. Their families were warned. It was about the Men in Black, because
Hmm.
when they came in, they actually went to these people's houses. Now, these people I'm talking to is my age now, so they were the kid in that house when the Men in Black came in their house. Kind of interrogated his mom and dad and the family. What did you see? You didn't really see nothing, right? Because I'm almost like a just puts it in your head that there was nothing happening. When they
Right.
all seen the thing crash, they all seen the thing go out on a flatbed truck, uh, a capsule, kind of looked like an acorn. And so if you go to Kecksburg, they have the actual model of that acorn spacecraft at their fire station that's out front.
It's
And
very interesting. You were telling me that, like, you were a big fan of Art Bell, and
mhm.
that's interesting because I can actually hear that in you. You know,
I love
it's
that Arbel, yeah.
I always think of like Paul Harvey. Like you also
Oh, yeah,
remind me,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, and that's the rest of that's you give me that.
And
You
here's the
give me
rest
that.
of the story, folks. Yeah,
Yes. Oh, it's a good impersonation too, bro. Oh
yeah.
man. And hi Darren. Welcome to the show, buddy. For me, it's like for me, talk radio for me was more comedy based. So like I'm a big fan of like Obie and Anthony, like kind of shock jock, not Al Howard Stern, not a big fan of Howard Stern, but like funny, get the comedians in the room,
Mhm.
talk some smack. But I take that and I mix it with the interest and the stuff that I have to put it together to make my show. So I'm just saying, as soon as you said Art Bell, dude, I was like, damn, you sound like
Well,
you're very reminiscent of that.
at that time, I was working security guard, and I was working the midnight shift, graveyard shift, so to speak. And the only show I listened to was Art Bell, and I just naturally people got on there and they were kind of way out there, But like I was told a guest the other night, like how can I call somebody crazy or I'm thinking they're loony because they were abducted and this happened to them while they're abducted when you could do the same thing to me that
Right.
about the girl I've seen in the house was because you're always told your mind can play tricks on you. You weren't really thinking straight, or this didn't really happen. Uh, and believe me, when it did happen to me, I was thinking that stuff. I was thinking it is a it could be a branch hitting the house. It could be a car going down the street with a light going across the room. I had all that in my head. I'm thinking of this what it could be. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
that's what it was. I know what it was. If somebody's pounding their fist on your bedroom wall where your mirror, your picture frame falls off the wall and breaks.
Yeah.
That's not a tree hitting the house. I mean,
How old were
uh,
you when this happened, Al?
that was 12 years old.
Okay. Okay. So that's
So
kind of
I
traumatic.
moved out when I was probably 16.
So
So,
4 years. Okay.
And you're going into, you're afraid to have friends over because you don't know what
Right.
kind of stuff's going to happen while they're in the house. I mean, really, honestly, my sister and I, we very rarely we had friends in the house because you didn't know what's going to happen, and
Yeah. So interesting, man. I
I
mean,
think that's what I can get. I think I made a long story.
yeah, go for it.
Story long, but it was a yeah. That's what got me led into the podcast. I had 3 podcasts I started 8 years ago. I was running 3 of them. One was the Ghost in the Valley. The other one was the Missing Piece, which was basically on mystery. Got you thinking about Edgar Allan Poe and different
Oh
things
yeah,
and
dude.
different stories that were people that are out there or missing people.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Like unsolved mysteries. So that didn't really take off. And then which kind of disappointed me. So I dropped that one, and I had another one with independent music artists. So I want to get on there and promote people like myself to get on there and promote your music, man. Try to get somebody out there that might like what you're doing, might like your songwriting. I had so many talented people, but it was hard. It's like pulling teeth, man. It gets people come on your show.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and so I kind of dropped that one after I wanted that one to work because like I said, told you before, I still play music. I love music, write music, perform, recorded. I've been on that whole 9 yards. And I also had my own video production company in 96 to 2016 called Picture This Video. So I did a lot of over 100 weddings and baptisms and
Okay.
cats' birthday parties. And I mean, you name it, man.
Oh, you and I are completely different venues. I'm at like VFWs and bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely different thing, man. But like the style of music I'm in, like if I were to start a show where I talked about music, it's always going to be some guitar head who wants to come on and talk about all the new amps and pedal board stuff they have. And
Mhm.
and that's not what I'm into now. I mean, I'm into that music, that style of music, don't get me wrong, but I want to hear about, the process of like, where like maybe you'll have like this part that you kind of start, at least for me in the metal scene, like you'll have like a riff that's just cool. And you're like, yeah, this is cool. And then you kind of write to it and then figure out if it's the beginning or even if it's a bridge, it might even be a bridge eventually. And that process of doing that with other people is the most fascinating and most connected that I've been with people in my whole life. When you're on this little groove, this little wave together, and everyone's just looking at each other, smiling, and you're jamming, and you're just like, and you can't miss too. You ever notice that too? It might even be a difficult section, but you nail it because like all the waves connect together. That's
Right.
that's the magic of music.
I think
love
I
that
think I
part.
told you before on our interview when you was on my podcast. I think I
Right.
said on that about how John Lennon used to say that rock and roll was meant to be ugly.
Yeah.
It's meant to be messy, and when you get that mess that comes together at that one point,
Mm.
that's when it hits you.
Yeah.
And I think I told you before. I mean, how would Bob Dylan fit there on American Idol
They would they would boo him off the show. Yeah.
Axl Rose, or I mean, you could go down the list. Judas Priest. I mean, there's so many. How would they fare? Because they're all looking out that commercialized music scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We like ugly music, Al. We like ugly music.
I ugly.
For
I mean, and I
ugly
grew.
music for ugly people. I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love the graininess of it, the fuzz on it. I enjoy that. I enjoy when things aren't so perfect. You know what I mean? That because that's what makes you like this whole AI thing that everyone's doing now with their pictures and all this stuff. It's going to go away in the sense of people are going to go, I want something real. I want to feel something again. And we're going to get there. You know what I mean? Humanity will
I'm
always
so tired
shine
of seeing
through.
these shows on TV, even on Saturday Night Live. I watched one not long ago, and I think it was I can't think of her name. She was not even singing her song, man. I mean, it was like if you're gonna lip sync a song, at least sing it while you're supposed to be singing. Uh,
Right. You can tell, you know.
I
I know.
I know. And my wife will say, "Is he playing that guitar in that part?" I said, "No." You know, because he's playing these real high notes, but he's down the bottom neck of the
I
guitar.
was at
He's
I
not
was
doing
at
that.
one of those motorcycle and jumping things. Somebody took me for my birthday in Germany a long time ago, and they had a band in the middle of this like little arena. And me and my buddy, he's a drummer. He's in another band. I'm a guitarist. And he's like, "Come on, I'll take you for your birthday." And we look down and we see this band playing, right? And on the drum kit, there was no overhead mics, no overhead mics for the cymbals, nothing.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, but I can hear it clearly over the PA. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work that way. We're both just like, boo, boo. This is so awful. We're musicians looking at this and just, it's shocking, dude.
I
It's
think
so
when
fake.
I mean, even the stuff you watch on YouTube with Frankie Valli, that dude's 90 some years old, and he looks like a dead man standing on stage. I mean, I give the dude props for the years he put into the music and what he did with the Four Seasons, you know. But you know, like I just think you got to get to the point where it's not working. I mean, if you're going out there just because you're a legend, there's other ways to go about it. But he's down there almost sleeping on the stage and not singing. Paul McCartney, I'm a huge Beatle fan. I think McCartney's voice is shot. And I'll probably get a lot of flack on that one.
That's fine.
Uh,
One of my
but
favorite singers, Philip Anselmo from Pantera, and his voice is shot.
right. I mean, there's so much you can only scream and do your
Well,
career.
Well, it depends, dude. It depends. I mean, there's dudes that, I mean, look at Rob Halford. He's like, what? He's in his 60s, maybe early 70s. He
Yeah,
can still
yeah.
rip it, dude.
That's
He may
true.
be 95%. But
Right.
we're talking
Yeah.
about the realism of things. Like, that's why shows like, mine and yours and others, people enjoy, like, they're sitting here listening to us talk because they're not only here for, like incredible encounters or things that are out of the ordinary. They're here to feel like they're part of something that's real. And
Mhm.
in this world of fakeness and plastic, excuse me, guys, like plastic boobs and, don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me or whatever? That dates me. That's a reference of 20, 25 years.
Hot like
But
this, yeah.
oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I actually showed Darren my comedy and it was shocking. I actually going to go stand up again tonight, Al. After this, I'm going to take a nap for 2 hours and I'm going to show these Mexicans all about how to be funny in Spanish. So let's see. Let's go ahead and thumbs up for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're artists, man. That's what you are too. So you're taking your background and enjoying talk radio and having these experiences and being a musician. And I'm doing the same thing. Or were you a front man, or what instrument did you play?
I play guitar, I write music,
What are you, a rhythm player, or what do you play?
rhythm. Right now, I'm doing rhythm and lead. There's only three people in the band.
Love you too, Jenny.
Bass, guitar, and drums, and we have a lead singer. So we're called the Boomers. So because we're all boomers, and
They call us the Xers.
yeah, excellent.
Yeah, man. That happened to me, man. I was actually playing in a band, and I wasn't a singer. I just know how to play a little bit of rhythm guitar, metal style guitar. I learned like Metallica and Slayer. Big fan of get my speed up and all that. And so I started this band. We're looking for a singer. We kept running into those like Ronnie James Dio power metal types with the which I don't like. I don't dig it. I like more of the growler, like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took my friend there on the weekend. It was an American guy in Germany, and he played a little bit. So he played drums a little bit. I could play drums, and we would just have fun going back and forth. And I had a couple beers in me, and I just jumped in front of the mic and started to scream. And he just stopped the drums and goes, "Dude, you're pretty good at this." And it just took off from there. And then next thing you know, I was actually in the city, like being recognized. Like, oh, that's Tom from Lemare. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? That is such a weird feeling. Such a weird feeling. Do you ever have that happen to you when someone knows you from the podcast or knows you from your musicianship or whatever?
Right.
Strange feeling.
We just had a gig now a while back, and this guy walks up to the stage and says, Hey, Cooley, man, we had some great times together. And I'm like, he knew all about it. He named the times and stuff. I could not remember his name. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
and I don't want to feel embarrassed, but I say I don't remember who you are, you know. But yeah, you have people all the time that I'll be in a bank or something, and the girl say, "You videotape my wedding," and I couldn't remember the wedding. You know, I couldn't remember her
Of
name or
course. It's impossible.
I did so many. You know, I tell you what, when I had my video production, I did a documentary called "Ghost in the Valley," hence
Okay.
hence my podcast name.
Okay.
So I took that off my documentary I made. It was based on true ghost stories in northeastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and this is pre-internet, so I put ads out in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, the Pittsburgh Gazette, the Cincinnati. I was all around, man, putting ads out looking for true ghost stories, and they were just flooding in, man. They were flooding in. So I went to these spots that I'm getting these stories, right? I had 3 stories from the same spot from the 3 different people that didn't even know each other.
Wow.
So I went to it's called the Hogback Bridge. It's in Hermitage, Pennsylvania. And suppose if you go on that bridge at night and you shut your car off, uh, this girl comes up from underneath the bridge with like a lantern, and she sits and then she's in the back seat of your car.
Oh my God, dude.
But you can't start your car.
Uh-huh.
And then
Can you
she's
tell her
gone.
to get out? No
And then
freeloaders?
I went there. I did I did I hired some actors and people from Youngstown, Ohio,
Okay.
from an
Cool.
agency, and so as you know, on your own show, shit happens and people don't show up, and that's what happened this day. I had 3 actors didn't show up, so I had just my sound guy, my bodyguard that was going to be on the bridge protecting the girl. I had a girl that's going to come up from the bridge. Uh, she's up and coming actress, and she was petrified, man. She was totally she and I she
Winona
it turned
Ryder.
out
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and my bodyguard turns out to be he's gonna play the lead part now. The guy didn't show up because he really didn't have no talking parts. He was just gonna do some action.
Mhm.
So I said, Art, you want to do the he said, yeah, I'll do it. Well, I wasn't thinking that I'm leaving her on the bridge by herself while I had to go up that little incline to come back down the videotape out of the sunroof of my car or like my cameras to get her. All I asked her was, don't blink while I'm coming in on that close up of you. Right. You got to keep your eyes open. This girl, man, I was like, man, she's really good. She's like really, really good. And after soon as I said cut, she was like I'm almost like broke down. She was petrified because I didn't know she was from that area. So she knew the legend of that bridge.
Okay.
So, and I left her there by herself, which was bad on me. So, I learned a lot while I was doing that. I should not left her by herself, and she wouldn't talk about it all the way up to she got back to the studio, and so I stuck around. Right, I stuck around down in the gully under the bridge. I wanted to get some woods shots and
Yeah, some
look
B-roll.
look B-roll back up at the bridge, and I forgot to tell my buddies to come back down and pick me up. So that means I had to crawl up all that gully myself with my camera and my equipment, walk my ass up this hill. And meanwhile, while I'm doing that, I get I'm punched from the back of me and I'm on my back, which basically knocked my camera on me. And I'm like, what the hell? So I turn around and it could it be a muscle spasm and then your ears flicked, and then
What?
you hear a growling sound. And and after I got back to the top of the hill, the girl that was my actress, she was explaining the things happening down in the bottom there, and she says that was exactly what happened to her. That's why she wanted to get out of there. And
Wait a
so
minute. At the same time or at a different time?
same time,
When she was up on top of the bridge or what?
right, while she was on the bridge,
Oh, so you separated out. She was having that, and
she
then
was
when you
having that
went down,
moment, and she was so uh, trooper man to stay there and go through that, and she wanted to get this scene done.
uh-huh.
Because, they're all trying to build a portfolio on even small little low budget films like mine was. Well, I entered my video into a independent film festival in our area at Youngstown State University, and I came runner up. So I was really
Wow.
proud about that, because I'm thinking I don't stand a chance on some of these other really great productions. I'm sitting there watching, and and they, they liked it because it was uh, like a low budget but interesting, kept you on your watching the 6 little
Yeah,
mini videos I put
kind
together.
of like the original Blair Witch. I got to be honest
I
with
was
you,
thinking I was thinking I was thinking Blair, just
I
like Blair
enjoyed
Witch.
that movie so, and that's
Right.
from where I'm from.
Mhm.
I'm from like that area. Like it's only maybe 40 minutes from me, if that. Sykesville, Maryland. No, it was Gaithersburg or that area, north of DC. And I was like, okay, all right, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. Because
such a cool
I'm
thing.
only so far from, where they filmed Night of the Living Dead, the original, the black and white,
Oh
you know?
yeah,
So I'm like, 40 miles from there, 35, 40 miles, from, Beaver County. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go there here in a couple of weeks. I'm meeting up with somebody who's got some stories about that area, uh, from where it was filmed in that cemetery. But the action's all around that cemetery, not actually in the cemetery. So
uh-huh.
it's happening on the little county roads around that cemetery where they had a huge storm, I guess, a couple years ago, and it upended some graves. And since then, there's all this action now going around that area. So I'm gonna go there in a couple weeks and just talk to her. I
What do
think
you
I'm gonna have her on a podcast.
what do you like? Okay, you're a person who's interested in this. What do you think all this is? All the you're getting flicked in the air and pushed, and what do you what is? I mean, if you had to take a shot in the dark, I'm not putting you on the spot of being any type of expert. Nobody is. I don't mean that in any sense of the word. Like if you were to take an educated guess, I guess you would say, with maybe a spiritual little twist on it, a little bit of science twist on it, and then maybe your own experiences put together.
I think
Would you think this is what's going on?
I think it's real. I do. I think it's a spirit. And while I was doing that filming, right, as I'm getting myself up out of that gully up on that bridge, I get the Hermitage Sheriff's Department comes up. Like, oh, here we go. I didn't get a permit for this bridge,
Uh,
which I should have got the permit. And that's the first thing he asked me. And I said, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. But I'm all done here, and I'm just heading back up to my car. We get to talk about, but I thought he was going to lock me up for what story I was telling him on what I'm filming about this girl under the bridge. Here he gave me his
his
rendition,
story.
his
Yeah.
story that was different from the 3 stories I got. So his story was it was back in slavery when they hung her. It was a black girl's family. They hung out the
Wow.
entire family under that bridge, and then she was a lone survivor.
Oh my
And then
God.
she ended up committing suicide and hanging herself under that bridge. So he's thinking that's her spirit coming up because he says, "I'm from this area, so I'm here all the time. I'm getting all these stories, and I hear about the ones you're telling
Right.
me. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm telling you that what we were told in my upbringing about it, and they don't want to talk about that because I don't know why, but but so it was so interesting on the people I meet during the video years and my video production, being a video in the Cleveland Browns and
Oh
uh,
yeah, you told me about that. That's right.
working with the Browns players and the cardiac kids and
Yeah, I
uh,
always feel that to be. I always find like policeman testimony, like for example, Martin Groves. If you know who that is, do you know who Martin Groves is?
I heard of him.
Yeah. Well, would you ever get a chance? It's just one. Someone's always pushing a video in my direction too, and hey, check this out. And we just don't always have the time to do so. But it's on Tony Merkel's podcast. One
He's
of
an
the big.
independent. He's an independent filmmaker.
He's starting to do that. Yes, he's starting to make a few, two that I know of for sure. Um, but he had Martin Groves on his podcast. He's a former police gentleman in this part in Tennessee, and he was turkey hunting in the LBL. And if you ever get a chance to listen to that story, man, it's one of those ones because I find police things to be fascinating because they have this constant pressure of being, of course, being protectors of, society and making sure that we don't do no dumb stuff to one another or dumb people doing bad things to good people. That if they come out and say anything like, I seen, a werewolf in the woods, and, I froze where I couldn't move and I could felt the vibration in my chest. And he can only say that after he retires. It holds a lot of water with me. I don't know what it is about that, but I find, I always salute the police, man. I watch Cops still, And I just go, the amount of professionalism you have to have dealing with some of these people, and then have to have a story like that, kind of like beneath things. You can't, there's been people who, thank you, Darren. This story is terrifying. Absolutely one of those stories. And to have to keep that under wraps. So like sometimes they'll go out on a call, we've seen something, and they go in and they see something and they can't even properly report it. When they finally are able to like break that ice and come forth, I find those to be one of the most fascinating encounters and things that I just enjoy to listen to, or enjoy listening to. Excuse me.
Mhm. Yeah, I love.
Says the English tutor.
I love getting a guest on my show that hit me from the left field, right field. You're going down this path, and then bam, you're hit by this side that you're not expecting. I love that. I love learning on my show. I love learning new things on my show, getting different, maybe changing my point of view on something. I
Oh
was
yeah.
all
Oh yeah.
I was brought up in a strong Baptist or Methodist Protestant religion growing up. That if you talk paranormal, if you talk demons, you're going to burn in hell. Stay away from that stuff. Don't even bring it up. If somebody said your house is haunted, don't even bring it up. You're gonna burn in hell. Focus on God. Focus on this. Well, you know what? I think that a lot of preachers back then put the fear of God in all these kids that were afraid to speak out on something that was important. If you've seen a UFO, or if you've seen a Bigfoot, or uh, a ghost, anything. And so I had this person on my show, and I was asking him on my very first show. Well, I had a guest, and my God, I can't think of his name now. Shit. Well, anyway, yeah, I asked him,
It happens.
do you think you can? Did you think you can move a spirit on? And he said, "What are you moving on to?" I says, "Well, I mean, heaven or hell? I mean, what do you think? Can you move that spirit on?" He goes, "Everybody on my team is either agnostic or atheist, so we don't believe in. If you're gonna get rid of that spirit, you're actually killing the spirit.
Ooh, that's weird.
So
Okay.
you're because we don't believe you're moving on to anything. I mean, it may stay. They believe it'll stay in this realm of earthly realm. But and I'm like, I didn't really. But since then, I'm thinking, who am I to say that?
God, you're
You know what
great,
I'm saying?
brother. I love
Who,
that so much.
who am I to say that you're wrong?
I love that so much, man. You have no idea.
Because you're way you're raised, and we're all like little magnets to our parents.
True.
So you suck in all everything that your parent taught you, or whether it be in racism or bigotry
It's
or
kind of an accident. It's kind of an accident where you're born. We could be somebody born in India. We could be, of course. We're like the way I
Mhm,
see things, and you could
mhm.
be, a Hindu, and it's just Shiva and all this karma and all those things. Um, it is a weird approach. I've never so they're like an atheist, like ghost, like paranormal team.
Right, yep, right. And I've had other teams on my show that had everything on their show. So they had atheists, they had a preacher, so they're very well diverse. So they kind of balance each other out. Everybody brings their stuff to the table, and you balance yourself out. You know, uh, is it great to have all atheists, or I don't know. I really don't. Is it great to have all preachers and Christians on you? I don't know. Yeah, but I think if you had different diversity, to my belief is you're going to round your group out with everybody that's different on your team, whether
Yeah.
you're
I think a person like
psychic or
yourself, though, being a person like yourself, though, being as balanced as you are in the way you approach things in life, and I like to think that I'm somewhat the same way. I think you'd be fine with it. You can kind of roll with the punches. For example, I had a guy on my recent episode where he's seen well, I don't know that he says it another way because he actually looked into it much more, but we would just say a pterodactyl. You know what I'm saying? He's
yeah.
seen that, and he's like a new Earth creationist. And for me, that is, you know what I mean? I was like, I've seen the Andromeda Galaxy in the telescope for real, for real. Like I've actually looked it up in Pleiades, well, not Pleiades, whatever, Pegasus, the square with the triangle, and found it, looked at it, and I'm looking at light from 250 million light years away. How do you explain new Earth creation? And so I'm like challenging him, but at the same time, he's giving good answers that I want to think about. What's wrong with thinking about things that are outside of your field based on merely the fact that you were born into an American family in Appalachian, for example. You know what I mean? Let's open our minds.
Right, right, right. And you really have to have an open mind to have a podcast like ours. You
Yes.
really do. I mean, the
Yeah.
eyes of Jupiter. You have to have a really open mind to have somebody comes on your show who actually shot a cryptid 4 times. I seen a
Oh
while back.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
a crazy
I'll tell
story.
you what, I love that, man. You know, we're having somebody in here that was a friend of mine who shot Bigfoot. So, uh, and seeing little baby Bigfoot, how am I going to say it didn't happen? And that's why I like people come on my show. You can, because there are probably people like myself that couldn't go out there and talk to somebody else who has the same maybe experience. Then and maybe now they can connect with me because
Right.
they had that same experience. And I had a girl on my show who was from Australia, and she could relate with me because I said, so, believe me, when my book comes out, my book's not already done, but it's not out yet. I was talking about one just came out last year.
Hmm.
She said, I said, I didn't steal your shit, man. I mean, because your story is the same as my story.
Right.
Your story, like what you heard, the knocking on the wall, the footsteps coming up the steps, like pounding somebody's like army boots coming up a wooden stairs that you
Right.
have.
Right. Right.
You know, it's just like my story, man.
Right.
So and I thought so cool because you have people from Australia, from uh, California, from Texas. Doesn't matter where you're from. A little town out in Tennessee that you never heard of, a little village, has the same story, man, and it's everywhere. So, and I love these
Yeah.
podcasts it's on. I think uh, Pam, who's your
One of my moderators. Yeah.
moderator, she's
She's the.
fantastic.
She's
She works
the.
her ass off, man, on your show. I've been following these shows that she does
She
on
is amazing, dude.
Magical
I
and
don't know. She found me one day when I was just starting. I was a couple months in, and she just wrote me, and it was weird because there's a lot of weird people out there, and you have to be cautious. But she's always, always, always has shown her colors to be true. Like, and so if something happens, like I had the same gentleman on who shot at the thing 4 times with a 44. He
Mhm.
came back on and he was talking about excuse me, that the DNR came to his house and they were like, "Hey, you got a half hour time? We need to talk to you." Right? Because so he's thinking they heard him on my show or some other show, right? He's been on a few, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." They all know him. He's from the area, and he took him out to a horse farm where this horse was, like ripped open from soup to nuts, just ripped open, blood every which way, laid out on the ground. And then 200 meters down the road, 200 yards down the road, better said. I'm sorry, I've lived in Europe for many years.
Mhm.
And so he's like, yeah, and there was a guy there. So he goes, yeah, my dog's leg got ripped off, and we had to bury it because I don't want my daughter coming home. And we also got a report from over here from a guy who was riding his electric bike like through these trails, and there was a decapitated freaking deer up there that they found, right? And
Yeah.
all this happened in one night. And he goes, "So, what can you tell us about this?" And he's like, "What do you mean? What do you got to play dumb because what are they setting you up for, right?"
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with all this in the moment, right? And the person that I reach out to first privately was my friend Pam. And I was like, "Pam, what do you think I should do?" She goes, "Well, we definitely have some type of like pressure to tell people in that area to be careful." And then I talked to like certain people like Al Santariga, the awesome sound, and my buddy oh man, what was his name? The big tall guy from he's got the deep voice. You know how names, unlike you, bud. Don't worry about it. And he was like, "Yeah, we're looking into it. We've contacted the authorities, this and that, the other. So everything's okay, Tom, but thank you for doing that." But you get thrown these curveballs that is being said, but you can't say. And not to mention, this is all entertainment, guys. None of this is real. You know, it's like
Mhm.
this weird. Thank you, Daryl Denton. Thank you. Oh my God, how could I forget Daryl Denton's name? And yeah, it's just an incredible guy. Yeah, and so it's good to have people who do the show with you for the right reasons. And she's always been a big supporter of me, and I'm sure you've had people that support you too and help you out as well, don't you?
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, you get friends on here after
Yeah.
so long, and you've known them, that you probably sort of together at a campfire. Like you've known them forever. So yeah, I've had so many good, great guests on my show that actually become friends of mine. So
Yeah,
uh, that we text each other, we respond to each other's posts on each other's show. I try to watch as much as I can. And
it's hard. It's
I buy
hard.
their books. If they write a book, I buy their books. Uh, my wife said, you're killing us. You're buying all these books, and I was like, it's you got to help these people out, man.
Yeah,
And
they're stacking up in the basement there, Al. So what are you doing?
right, I got like 7 over here. I haven't touched yet. 'Cause I'm so far. I'm a slow reader, man.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
I just got one of those. What do you call Kindles? I got a Kindle.
Oh,
My daughter bought
yeah.
me a Kindle for Christmas. And so I'm trying to get the
Don't
use of
like
the
them.
Kindle over a paperback.
Nah, man, I gotta touch it. I gotta
So
touch it, dude. I
I'm
gotta touch
trying.
it.
I'm really trying. So,
Yeah, yeah, man.
so
It's an incredible process of doing what you did. And I'm so glad that I actually got in contact with you, man. So before I get you up out of here, my friend, please do me a favor, dude. One more time, like tell everybody where they can find you, what's coming up, what's the name of the book that's coming out, and all those things, man.
the book that's coming out is not named yet.
Okay.
But I'm really close to it. Uh,
You got a couple
I,
names in the Easter basket. I
I
got you.
do. I do. I do.
Got one of those
With the,
bingo ball hoppers.
yeah. But really, if you want to find anything about me, go to Facebook. I'm Al Cooley on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, uh, X. Uh, my podcast is Ghost in the Valley podcast. My book Spencer's Ghost. It's available on Amazon. Also, you can check all my past episodes on my website and pick up my book on my website at authoralcooley.com. And it's been a great time being on your show. Your show's coming up here in a week or two. I'll let you know when it comes out.
Yeah.
And
Everyone go ahead and grab a hold of it and post that
I
out so we can
appreciate
get
you having
Al
me
some
on.
love.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I understand that. It's all good. Let's make sure we get everything up here, guys. Here it is. Here's the ghost in. There's the Facebook page, guys. And here is the name of his book. Yeah, Pam was on it, man. I don't know what I did right in this life or the past one, but I got a great moderator. Yeah, let me go ahead and get over here. I appreciate it too, man. And when it comes out, we'll promote your show. And if you have anything you want to go ahead and post over on my Facebook page, go ahead and do so. It's open, man. Okay.
All right. Same here, man. I appreciate that.
All right, guys. We are the Eye. We are aware. I love you all and have a wonderful weekend, bro. You have been watching the Eye of Jupiter podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of your favorite interviews. And remember, we are the Eye, we are aware.